nu om te wegen, want die heb ik al een rijden.
Si tú en un momento dado te cansas o te duele, te puedes sentar. Ah, tú déjame a mí, que yo siempre me voy por donde hay bancos.
Pero a veces
Yo no tengo problema, la verdad. Are
Bij Flying Tiger of bij Victoria.
Ja, weer niet erg.
Any questions? Your captain is here to assist you. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise.
Welcome to Amsterdam, capital city of the Netherlands. What better way to experience this compact and very international city than from the unique perspective of its waterways? There certainly are a lot of them. This city has over 100 kilometers of canal. Amsterdam is known for being friendly, open-minded and progressive. It's a popular place to visit and do business. Just think, in a population of only 800,000 people, you can meet 170 different nationalities.
This area's rich history adds a swirl that's never far below the surface. During the 17th century, Amsterdam shone especially bright, like gold. This golden age was an extraordinary time. Politics, art, and business all reached new levels of sophistication. Dutch shipbuilders revolutionized sailing. Amsterdam boasted a thriving stock exchange, and painters like Rembrandt and Vermeer produced remarkable art.
Je ligt al bijna. Ga maar door. Yeah, here on the right, guys, you see the Central Station. The right tower is, of course, with the clock, and the left tower is the wind direction. And I'm very sorry to tell you this, but it's already for a few months kaput. But the Central Station was created on an island, and it had 8,000 trees needed to stand up, as we say. What you have to know is that this part of the tour here under the bridge, that was closed for 8 years, ladies and gentlemen. And since this year in the beginning it opened up, because we're going to ride our boat on top of the biggest bicycle pavement of the world. So under us there can be parked 8,000 bikes. Here on the left you can see people coming out and going in. All the bikes you see here and on the railing, they will be cut away this evening or early in the morning. And then you're lost your bike. Now, in the beginning we had a bicycle hotel here on the right. It's an ugly thing, but here we could stack 3,000 bikes. Now, Amsterdam says it's an ugly thing, it has to go. And then we said, well, it's actually ugly, but maybe beautiful in its art. Because have a look behind the bicycle hotel. Do you see that building behind it? That is the Ibis Hotel, and that is even uglier. So actually we do hope it stays. The ugly bicycle hotel.
is a freshwater lake created by a series of locks and a massive dam. Out here, we're 6 meters below sea level, but it's still dry, thanks to some truly amazing engineering. The Amsterdam harbor is the second largest harbor of the Netherlands. After the Second World War, the main harbor activities were moved to the western part of the city. But we'll still see a variety of water traffic, including barges, riverboats, and cruise ships. Riverboats are often docked in the harbor. These long, flat tourist boats sail to the east, to the Rhine River in Germany. You can also frequently see huge cruise ships in Amsterdam's harbor. They come from all over the world, entering the harbor through the North Sea Canal.
Now guys, we have here on the right the film documentary museum, that is that white building. On the right you see the lookout tower, and on the right, on the top, you see the swing. Now, how do you get there? Swimming? Listen, we do have ferries. Do you see that white blue boat behind the Central Station? It goes to the other side. Yes? Guys, that is free transport. I know that you have to pay for everything, even to go for a pee-pee. You have...
This very modern, angular building is home to the District Attorney's Office and the Higher Court for Appeals. There's also a series of prison cells tucked away in the basement of the building.
Heb je dat meegekregen, jongens? Waar zitten nou die crimineus? Ja, onder water. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, slowly we are going into the heart of Amsterdam. Now, before the bridge and also after the bridge, you will see it on your left. There you see a building with 3 towers. Now, what is so interesting to know is that in 16, 17, 1800s we had the dominant Protestant religion in the northern part of Europe, also in Holland. Now, they were rich and they asked 3 architects, please can you create us a church? And of course they did. But they never ever could decide which tower they wanted to build. And because of the richdom of the Protestant church, they said to them, build them all 3. So that's why we do have a church with 3 towers. Now, if you see a hen, a golden hen on top of a church, then you start to understand that it is a Protestant church in the early days. This church is not in work anymore. It's not in use, as we say. It's now an art gallery and art office. So it's the Posthorn, so if you want to go in, then you know that you're in the church with 3 towers.
Moved in at the right time and found themselves in a role of neighborhood pioneers. The narrow streets and wooden drawbridges will charm you. And lively markets that date back to the Golden Age. On Saturdays, it's a farmer's market, packed with fresh organic vegetables, meat, and other good things to eat. On Mondays, it converts to a flea market with antiques, art, clothes, and many other treasures waiting to be discovered.
The market is held in a square outside Northern. This octagonally shaped church was built in the 1620s to serve the poor, while the rich attended festivals on the other side of the Prinsengracht. Both churches were designed by Dutch architect Hendrik de Keyser. The lines in the pavement outside Northern mark an old cemetery. The rich were buried inside.
You always you live in Istanbul, you see this sea from our house, and you grow up with ships there.
Isn't that the river, you see?
And on the Bosphorus. Yeah, in the river.
Can you spot any warehouses along this canal? Look for their telltale wooden window shutters and triangular spout gables. Until about a century ago, these warehouses were filled with dry goods and other supplies. But today, the most likely thing you'll find inside is people.
After industries moved out of this area, the warehouses sat vacant until squatters discovered the empty buildings in the 1960s and 70s and put them to use. But this didn't last for long. Seeing potential in the warehouses, which are located right next to the water, in a historically significant part of the city, developers pushed the squatters out. The warehouses have now been renovated and made into luxury apartments.
Ladies and gentlemen, here on the right you see two French balconies, the white ones, and on the left of that house you see a one-window house. That was sold last year for 1 million euros, ladies and gentlemen. What do I say? Welcome in Dubai?
We're approaching the Anne Frank house, where Anne Frank, a young Jewish girl, and her family hid in a secret apartment for 2 years during the Nazi reign. Anne kept an eloquent diary that brought her story, her private thoughts, and the hardships she faced to the world. In this way, she's become a symbol of the Holocaust. In her diary, she mentions the tolling of the bell of the Westerkerk, or Western Church.
The church was built in the 17th century and is the largest Protestant church of the Netherlands. Hendrik de Keyser, the city's architect, designed it in Dutch Renaissance style. He died before the tower, which was made of stone and brick, was finished. The tower proved to be too heavy for the supports it was built on, which were thought to be of second-hand wood, and it started to lean. When de Keyser's two sons took over the project, they decided to finish it with a lighter building material, wood. At the top of the tower is a blue crown, a gift from the Emperor Maximilian I of Austria to the city for its coat of arms.
You'd have to step around the open sewers and steel yourself against the nasty smells of dead animals and the tanning business that hung heavy in the air. Many tanneries set up shop here, and some of the street names reflect this animal-based industry. You can find a bear street, a deer street, and even a skin street. In general, though, it was the cow, and sometimes the goat or hare, whose skins were tanned, and these were used to make shoes, saddles, and many other items. Today, you get to experience something very different. The streets are now lined with cute little shops and fancy restaurants, and the air is fresh and appealing.
Yeah, guys, before we go any further, I'd like to explain to you why we can live in a houseboat. Let me tell you one thing straight away. We are not poor when we live on a houseboat. Funny, eh? Yeah. Guys, we do have the 3 facilities what you also have in your houses. Electricity. Hey, guys, the houses in Amsterdam are so bloody fucking expensive that I cannot afford curtains anymore. That is the reason. But if you have a good look, the real reason. You see the houses standing next to each other. It means that we only have windows in the front and windows in the back. It means that actually we need daylight as long as we can get. That's why we do not have curtains. And if you see curtains, ladies and gentlemen, they're from another country.
Nee, ik ga rechtdoor naar de heren. Nou, misschien dat we tegelijk zijn. Niet weg. Misschien hebben we tegelijk gesproken. Leidse Amstel, de Ruizer. De Ruiter luistert. Oh, ik wacht.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry to tell you this, but we are going to the right in a few moments on the Gentleman's Canal. I'm very sorry to tell you this, but this is the most boring canal of Amsterdam. But yeah, you paid for it, so you have to see it. Have a look here on the corner. Look at that green door, how narrow and small that is.
What is his name?
Eren.
In the early 17th century, a time of tremendous physical and economic growth, 3 new canals were laid out in concentric rings. The Herengracht was innermost. The Keizersgracht, or Emperor's Canal, was in the middle, followed by the Prinsengracht, or the Prince's Canal.
The wealthiest citizens, shipbuilders, merchants, investors, and politicians built elegant mansions on the Herengracht. The Keizersgracht was solidly middle class, while the Prinsengracht had a more industrial atmosphere. Of the 3 canals, the Prinsengracht was the only one that connected directly to the harbor, and its low sides were designed for loading and unloading cargo.
And so, the farther you lived from the city center, the lower your social class. Today, this would no longer hold true. All of the city center is expensive. We're now at the so-called Golden Bend of the Herengracht, the most lavish section of all. Imagine going into one of these sumptuous homes. On the first floor, an elegant entrance hall with marble floors, high ceilings, and chandeliers. Mirrors were strategically positioned to create an illusion of even more space. And single-lot houses would often have a fake door on the side of the entryway to make them appear bigger than they were.
Rooms were richly decorated with painted wallpaper, oil paintings, fine sculptures, and exotics such as Turkish rugs and Persian silks. In the second half of the 17th century, Parisian furniture, Louis XVI, was very much in vogue.
As a gentleman, you might join your host in a deep-colored smoking room. A lady, your hostess would receive you in a light blue salon or tea room. Here, you sip imported tea from China while looking out over a beautifully manicured garden. No one ever sat in the gardens. It had ruined their fashionable white skin. Musical concerts and grand parties were common, and each house had many rooms dedicated to entertaining. For a first-hand glimpse of life inside
Americans. It's now a 5-star luxury hotel.
Yeah, guys, on your right you see that green building. That is Nemo, New Metropolis. It's a museum for children that can already come in contact with technology and science. Now, the building was developed by the architect Renzo Piano, but Renzo never came to Amsterdam because he was insulted by the children. And because the children said when they looked at it, it looks like a sinking ship. And that's why Renzo was insulted, and that's why Renzo didn't come. But it's a very beautiful museum.